Welcome to the Old Time Radio Westerns. I'm your host, Andrew Rhynes, and this episode of OTRWesterns.com is brought to you by you. Yes, you. OTRWesterns.com is supported by its listeners, bringing you digitally remastered and restored old-time radio westerns from an era that is now gone. It takes a lot to keep this show coming to you, and we hope you agree that the results are definitely worth the cost. Please support the cause by visiting OTRWesterns.com/donate and signing up for reoccurring support. Together, we can keep the Westerns alive. Now let's get into this episode. This episode is going to be The Lone Ranger. Original air date's May 24th, 1943, and the title is Mixed Brands. Hope you enjoy, and again, thanks for listening.
A fiery horse with the speed of light, a cloud of dust, and a hearty "Hi-Yo, Silver!" The Lone Ranger. With his faithful Indian companion Tonto, the masked rider of the plains led the fight for law and order in the early western United States. The stories of his strength and courage, his daring and resourcefulness, have come down to us through the generations, and nowhere in the pages of history can one find a greater champion of justice. Return with us now to those thrilling days of yesteryear. From out of the past come the thundering hoofbeats of the great horse Silver. The Lone Ranger rides again.
Come on, Silver! We're on the trail of rustlers. Hi-Yo, Silver! Ahoy!
Ranchers in the cattle country always resented the men who raised sheep. It was because of this well-known resentment that Tim Blair, travel-worn and dusty, stopped in at the sheriff's office in Danville.
Yes, say the name is Blair?
Yes, sir, Tim Blair.
Where you from?
Well, my sheep ranch is away north of here, but I've been down south buying stock.
I see.
I bought 8,000 head. The price of sheep's mighty low down there.
Yeah, it's war that done it. Prices are better up in the north. But, how do you figure to get your stock there?
Well, that's why I stopped in your office. I'm planning to drive them over the open range.
You mean north of here?
Yes.
You'll never do it, lad.
But why not? I thought I'd ask you for a small posse to ensure protection while I'm taking them over.
Afraid he can't help you none, son.
But why?
Well, there's something like 8 or 10 big cattle ranches just north of Dansville.
I know, but...
Cattle owners are fighting men. Friendly like and good neighbors ordinarily. Right now, they're riled up over the cattle stealing that's been going on for quite a spell.
What's that got to do with me?
The ranchers ain't in a friendly mood. They're primed to shoot any stranger that appears on the range without good reason.
But I've got the sheep with me. They'll merely walk over the range. I don't even intend to let them graze.
That'd make no difference. I couldn't give you any men right now.
Why not? A few
men
men
would...
can't.
Because every available man is on the watch for rustlers.
Rustlers? Is it a whole gang operating?
It must be. More than 5,000 head of cattle been stolen in less than a month. Just before roundup time, too. Rustlers are likely branding the calves.
Well, I'll have to go over the range now that I've started.
All you can do is go and see Brownell. His ranch is on the beeline in your direction. He might give you special permission to cross his land, but it ain't likely the way things are now.
Well, thank you, Sheriff. I'll see what I can do.
His ranch is the Lazy Bee.
I'll be getting along then. So long.
Adios.
Come on, Beauty. We're in sort of a spot. Wait, now let me untie. What a piece of horse flesh that is. A white stallion. Why, that looks like... It must be Silver.
Hello, Tim. You're right. This horse is Silver.
Then you're... No, you're not the Lone Ranger. He wears a mask.
Everyone excited about rustlers? I thought I'd better wear this disguise.
I never was more pleased to see anybody. I'm on my way north with about 2,000 sheep.
Yes, I know. I heard about it. That's why I'm here.
That's why... I don't savvy.
I heard you were coming.
Oh. The sheriff told me about the rustlers.
Yes. I doubt if you'll be able to get your sheep over the range here.
But you see, they're already on the way.
Well, Tim, I'd suggest you head west for 30 or 40 miles and skirt the cattle range instead of trying to go across it.
But I've got 3 other flocks to come. I have only one with me. I wouldn't be able to notify the herders now.
Oh, I see.
I plan to talk to Brownell at the Lazy Bee and see what he says.
You might try it, but it's hardly likely, Tim, that he'll let you go over the range.
I'll ask him anyway. Are you and your friends working on the rustling gang?
Yes. Tonto and Dan have been scouting. I'm to meet them tonight and see what they've found out.
Then I'll go on to the Lazy Bee and talk to Brownell. Perhaps we can meet later.
You move your sheep up to the bank of the creek and wait there, Tim. Steady, big fella. Adios. Come on.
The Lone Ranger crossed the stream and went to a well-concealed camp on the bank. Dan rushed from a lean-to meet him.
Oh, Silver, oh, boy, oh. Dan, Tonto find out anything? Steady, big fella.
Yeah, he's still watching. He sent me here to tell you.
Go on.
Well, several hours ago, we noticed some men in a valley some distance away. Tonto thought they might be rustlers, so he stayed and watched them in case they left. He'll keep track of them.
Good.
And if they camp, he'll come back here.
Then get supper going, Dan, while I give Silver a rub down and put on my mask.
Hey, I hear a horse.
Yes, it's Tonto.
Oh, great.
Riding downstream so he won't leave tracks to our camp.
If Tonto's here, it means those men he was watching have settled down for the night.
Scout. Me glad you here.
What did you learn, Kimosabe?
Me see fellers.
Dan told me.
They ride to other stream. It run off from this one.
Yes?
Stream run between Triangle Ranch and Lazy Bee. Water fast and deep. But there one place where ford make it easy to cross. Fellers camp near ford. Look like them wait there.
Wait. By darkness, do you think, Tonto?
Well, maybe.
I see. How many men?
2. One carry branding iron. That's why Tonto watch 'em.
Good. As soon as it gets dark, we'll find out what's going on.
As darkness fell, the Lone Ranger left his camp by the main stream and followed Tonto to another stream that angled between the Triangle and the Lazy Bee ranches. Dan kept pace with the masked man. At a silent signal from Tonto, the 3 dismounted. Then went ahead on foot until they heard 2 men speaking.
Here's the branding iron, Slick. Hang on to it. Sure will. Boss said to get it back to him in the morning.
Ain't the boss coming with us?
No. You know what I think, Slick?
Oh, what?
I think the boss is getting scared.
Ah, he's not scared.
No, maybe not. Say, ain't it about time things started?
Yeah. Come on, we ought to hear him most any time now.
They're rustlers, Tonto.
We can capture him. We can jump him.
Dan, those 2 men are doing the work. We want the leader of the gang. We'll wait and make sure and get proof.
Here come cattle now.
Almost stampeded. Tonto, those longhorns are being driven hard.
I should say so. That's what those men were waiting for.
No man would drive his own cattle that hard.
That's right.
Come on, Rick, up to our horses.
Maybe we follow cattle, huh?
Yes. And Dan, you better go back.
Hey, look. There's someone standing near our horses.
Be ready, Tonto.
You ready?
Rush them.
Hey, here's the owners. Hold on there. Smash by thunder.
Out of our way.
Oh, get him.
I'll shoot him. Oh, my arm.
I'm ready.
Right.
Get him. Get him.
Get him up, Scout. One, sit there. Tonto, I want you and Dan to trail the cattle thieves at a safe distance. I'll go on to meet Tim Blair. Come on, Silver.
It was an hour before dawn when the Lone Ranger joined Tim Blair and his chief herder, Marty, as they discussed Brownell's refusal to allow Tim to cross the range. To Tim, there seemed nothing else to do but to defy the ranch owner and take his sheep over the open prairie. But the masked man had another idea.
Tim, with this cattle rustling going on, Brownell's men are liable to shoot you on sight.
But can't he see that I'm just a sheep man? Surely he'll know I'm no rustler.
The way things are now, the real rustlers are anxious to have someone take the blame.
You mean that?
That they'd be glad of the chance to kill you and fasten all the blame on you.
But most of them
Tim, there's no use asking Brownell for permission to cross his land.
Then what am I going to do? I can't keep the sheep here on this side of the stream for long.
No, you'll take them through.
But you said that...
You're going to have to sacrifice 100 sheep for the sake of the rest.
Well, I'd do that. But
Tonto and I are going to drive 100 of your sheep close enough to the Brownell Ranch to attract attention. While we're keeping the ranch hands occupied, you and your men will cut along the east boundary of the Brownell land and cross the ridge. Once beyond the ridge, you'll be in the clear.
But where'll I be?
Then you'll ride with Tim.
Oh.
You'll have to go with him to serve as a messenger. When you get to the top of the ridge, you'll be able to watch both directions.
For what?
When daybreak comes, you'll see Tim and his flock, as well as Tonto and me and the sheep with us.
And watch you in a running gunfight.
You see us in trouble, you'll know what to do.
Come shooting?
You know better than that. You leave guns alone. Come with the sheriff and his posse.
Yeah, but by the time I get to you...
You'll be there in time.
look here, have you got something in mind besides getting the sheep through?
Yes, Tim.
The rustlers?
We've learned a little about that. We need to know more. Now, you cut out the sheep you're going to turn over to me, and we'll get started. There's not much darkness left.
With the first light of day, the Lone Ranger and Tonto rode slowly toward the center of the Brownell Ranch, where the buildings sprawled over quite an expanse. The lead sheep followed a direct line, and the others followed, making it simple for the masked man and Tonto to ride slowly in the rear and watch for stragglers.
I don't know how far our luck will hold, Tonto.
You need luck for this plan.
Yes, we need some.
You still got disguise under mask. You think you need it?
As soon as Brownell's men spot us, they'll come riding hard. We're not going to resist.
Me savvy.
I think those were Brownell's men who found our horses during the night.
Look, here come trouble.
Rein up, oh boy.
Who's got a fella?
There's the critters. Get the drop on them. Ice them. Whoa there. Scatter them sheep. We'll handle these two.
Hector, get a look. This hombre's masked.
Masked?
Yeah.
By the great Juniper and the white horse. You're the critter that escaped during the night.
Am I?
You're doggone right. You and that redskin. There's another one of you. Where's he at?
He obviously isn't with us.
Now I got it, Hank. It's clear as day. This is the rustler. He was on hand during the night.
Well, so you're using sheep as a cover, eh?
Why don't you arrest me and let the law ask questions?
Brownell will be doggone glad to know about you, mister. Get that mask off. Let me see you.
Hey, Hector! Oh there, steady, boy.
You scattered them sheep good and plenty, Slick?
Yep.
Take these critters' guns.
Hey, fellas.
What's up, Hank?
Look, coming from yonder. That's Carson and his top hands from the triangle spread.
Carson? So it is. Hey, Carson!
Hi there, Lazy Bee.
Hey, what's this?
Mask, huh? Where'd you get him?
Bringing sheep through. Last night I was line riding, heard cattle moving fast, and then seen this critter and the redskin.
That was my cattle, 500 head. And most of them unbranded calves.
The crooks got to you again,
They did. I'm heading for your boss to see if we can't do something.
He's home.
Good. If Brownell can agree, we
get the rest of the ranchers lined up and form a combine. Try to stop the rustling.
I reckon we got the ringleader of them right here.
Take him to Brownell while we hold a meeting. These your men?
Yeah, this is Hank.
Hi, Mr. Carson.
Howdy.
This here's named Slick, on account of the way he handles a poker deck.
Hi, Mr. Carson.
So you heard my stock being moved, Hector?
I sure as thunder did, but it was out of the way before I could get to it. I just come up in time to see these two making for the horses. Like to be ready to follow the rest of their gang.
Well, let's unmask him and head for Brownell.
Right. And if Brownell does what I think he'll do, these critters are slated for a necktie party as the honor guests. Now get moving. Come on, get up there.
The curtain falls on the first act of our Lone Ranger story. Before the next exciting scenes, please permit us to pause for just a few moments. Now to continue our story. While the foreman of the Lazy Bee waited to talk to Brownell, he and his men locked up the Lone Ranger and Tonto in a small shack nearby. Once inside this, the Lone Ranger smiled at his Indian companion.
Well, Tonto, when we set out with those sheep, I said we'd need our luck.
We need plenty luck now.
We found out one thing, Tonto. Hank and Slick are the two men we heard talking last night while they waited for the cattle to cross the stream.
Me see same men hide near Triangle Ranch last night.
They're Brownell's men. I wonder if they can...
Maybe Brownell, leader of rustling gang.
He might be, Tonto. We must have proof of that to convince a lawman.
Maybe we get proof. We get out of shack. This window here...
It's too small, Tonto.
Me see Silver and Scout outside the shack.
Yeah, they're close enough to hear if we called.
Silver maybe splinter heavy door with hoofs.
Yes, he could, Tonto. We'd be able to escape, but we wouldn't get the information we need to catch the leader of those rustlers.
You have a plan?
Tonto, could you trail those cattle that crossed the ford last night?
Maybe Tonto trail them. See, men come now.
Yes. Coming for us, Kimosabe. It's Carson. That husky-looking man with him must be Brownell, the owner of the Lazy Bee Ranch.
Fellow named Hector there, too.
Yes, there are several others, but I don't see Hank or Slick.
Them look like ranch hands.
No use wasting time about it. Finish him up fast.
Let's try and make him tell where the cattle's hid before we string him up.
Unlock that door.
Sounds as if they planned to hang us.
Me hear 'em.
Tonto, don't resist until the last minute. The worst comes to the worst, we'll call Scout and Silver and make a break for it.
Me savvy.
There they are, Mr. Brownell.
Well, so you're the critters, eh?
I wondered what you looked like, Brownell.
Take a fast look, mister. You won't have much longer to look at anything.
March 'em out. There's a convenient tree right there.
Get going.
You critters might be able to make us feel more friendly if you tell us a few things we want to know.
We can tell you a lot, Mr. Carson, if you'll send for the sheriff.
Sheriff, nothing. We handle the law for ourselves in this ranch.
That tree'll do, Hector. Throw your rope over it.
Right. There.
What can you tell?
Yeah. Where's the cattle?
I'll talk when the sheriff is here.
Not before, eh? Well, that settles it then.
Hold on, Carson. Maybe we should send for the sheriff. After all, I'm more interested in getting my cattle back than seeing a man hang.
Sheriff? Nah. He'll hold a jury trial, and this critter will be rescued out of the jail by his pals. Put that noose over him, Hector. Take the tall one first, then the redskin.
Carson, if I were Brownell, I'd be suspicious of your eagerness to hang me. You act as if you were afraid I might tell things you didn't want known.
Mister, there ain't no use stalling for time. Nothing is going to come to save you.
No?
Tighten that noose, Hector. You boys toss a hitch in the pommel of that saddle and haul him up.
Right, Mr. Bonnell.
Horses come plenty fast.
You sure?
Me feel vibration in ground.
Brownell,
All right, have your last say.
you will not hang me.
What? And why not?
You do, you'll hang. The sheriff is on his way here.
Hey, boss, if that's true...
Whip up that horse.
You'd better not.
Boss, he talks like he knew.
Do what you're told, Hector, or I'll do it myself.
I don't hanker to have the sheriff come and get...
Look. Hey, who are those men?
And come leading way.
That's the sheriff's posse.
Hey, boss, the sheriff will skin us.
Who brought those riders?
That lad on the white horse. He was watching from a hill. Now, Carson, Brownell, you'll find the stolen cattle.
Great day. Are you all right?
Hey, there, take that noose off. What's this mean? You, Brownell, you know what I said about this sort of thing.
Good work, Dan.
Golly, I was afraid we'd be too late.
You come just in time.
Sheriff,
Never mind a lot of talk. Who is this?
What'd that kid tell you?
You said you'd be stringing someone up. Said you thought you hit some rustlers.
We have.
I'm sure of it, Sheriff.
Sheriff, I'd
You
like
be
to...
quiet a minute.
Sheriff, you be quiet. We've all suffered too much from rustlers. You ain't been able to do a thing about them. Well, we're taking the law into our own hands
Not while
now.
I'm on the job, you're not. These men are rustlers. They stand trial. Say, how'd you know they were rustlers?
I didn't say they weren't rustlers.
What? Well, you sure shooting did.
Sheriff,
You said...
I said Bonnell was holding two men whom he thought were rustlers.
There's a difference, Sheriff.
Now you deny it?
Yes.
Well, fry my
Take him
hide.
to jail, then. I'll have witnesses to appear against him.
Wouldn't you be interested in finding the real rustlers?
Watch out for a trick, Sheriff.
You're doggone right. You come to town...
Possibly we'll find the rustlers with the cattle.
Talk some more.
Yeah, you said you'd talk when the sheriff was here. Now, doggone it, give out.
Last night we heard cattle being moved.
My cattle. I lost 500 head last night. Most of it was calves that hadn't been branded.
Tonto and I can take you to the place where the cattle crossed the stream. From there, we can trail that cattle.
That's a downright lie.
Hold on, Hector. Why is it a lie?
I know every inch of this land. Some of it, especially the section near where I saw these men, is hard rock and won't take hoof marks. The cattle can't be trailed.
Hector's right, Sheriff. The man's trying to trick us.
The ground is hard rock. But Tonto here can trail that cattle.
It might be. Heard about redskins and the things they can sometimes do.
There's certainly no risk, Sheriff. You and your men have guns. Hector here disarmed us. You can keep us both covered.
He's likely got a gang waiting to ambush us.
That being the case, Brownell, you might catch the whole gang.
Maybe so.
I'm set against it.
Brownell, did you lose cattle last night?
Not last night, no.
Then Carson should have something to say. It's his cattle.
I'm the one that's got to say. Boys, keep a sharp watch on these two.
And that kid, too. He was with them. I saw all three of them when I was line riding last night.
Very well. Watch all three of us.
Go ahead. You, Redskin, lead the way, and remember, the first sign of an ambush, the three will be the first one shot.
Me get horse. Here, Scout.
Here, Silver.
Hey, what'd you call that horse?
My horse's name is Silver.
No wonder.
Sheriff, that foreman took my gun belt. If we prove that we're not rustlers, I'll want it back. Ask him to bring it with us, won't you?
Well, you heard him, Hector. Do what he says. Now, man up and start. Come on, Hector.
Come on, Silver.
While the sheriff's men kept their hands near their guns, Tonto led the way to the bank of the stream near the ford where the cattle had crossed.
Who's got
boy, steady.
Well, now what do we do?
This is where we saw the cattle during the night, Sheriff.
Yes, and you can see for yourself what the ground's like over yonder. If the critters went that way, they couldn't leave tracks.
And we go see.
Get him up forward. On the hard ground, Tonto signaled a halt. Then dismounted and studied the ground. The Indian used all his lore in watching for signs. An overturned stone, broken twigs, or an occasional hoof mark where the ground would take it marked the route. The progress at times was slow, but the Indian kept on the trail. The route followed a gentle upward slope until just ahead lay the crest of a hill. Then the posse and ranchmen were seen by Slick and Hank.
Hank, the only thing we can do is ride up to meet him. Tell him we found cattle.
How in tarnation did they find this place?
Yeah, that redskin. Just look at him, the way he's watching the ground.
Yeah, I can see clearer now. It's the sheriff as sure as you're born. Brownell's with him.
And Carson. Hank, this ain't good.
I know it.
The only thing we can do is meet him. Make out we follow this trail our own selves.
They've seen us. Brownell's waving.
Yeah.
Hey there!
I'll answer.
Hi, Sheriff. Hey there, boss. We found something. Get up. Get up.
Get up. Get up.
Mr. Brownell, we found some cattle in the basin over yonder.
You did?
Yeah, we was out hunting the rustlers. We come on some of the cattle we stole from you.
How about mine?
Well, we didn't look around much, Mr. Carson.
Let's go and look at that cattle.
Yeah, it's right beyond the crest.
Come on.
The horsemen rode into the mass of grazing longhorns and calves. The Lone Ranger then took command.
Now I'll show you the truth.
Now, hold on, mister. Remember, you've got to prove you didn't bring this stock here.
Look. Brownell, is that some of your stock?
Yes, it's branded with a B, ain't it?
Wait, there's a calf. I'll rope it to make sure. Steady, Silver. I'll shake out this rope. All right. Steady there. Hold him, Silver. Easy, fella. Sheriff, come here and look.
Sheriff, I can tell you right
Is that
now.
a B brand?
Yep, Lazy B.
Well, at least I'll get back some of what I lost.
That's a fresh brand.
It sure is.
Any stock with a B brand would belong to Brownell, of course.
Why else would it have my brand on it?
These calves are too young to wear a brand. I think a lot of them still follow their mothers. Suppose we turn this one loose and see what cow it turns to.
Hold on. I see something.
Oh, you don't?
Oh! Are you a fool?
Hey, why'd you try to shoot?
That calf is diseased, I can tell. I was going to shoot it so it wouldn't
That
spread.
won't go, Brownell.
You spoil my aim.
That calf is perfectly well. You tried to shoot it because you didn't want it to turn to the mother. Come on, little fella, find your mother. Watch the cow. Look at the ear notch.
Hey, that's a triangle cow. That's one of mine.
That's right, Carson.
Brownell, why has my calf got a B brand?
Why, how do I know?
Sheriff, those two were with the rustlers last night. Got them.
He lied.
Cover him, boys. I like the way this stranger handles things.
Make them tell you who hired them to brand the calves. Who could benefit except Brownell?
How about that?
Now, Sheriff, I'll tell you.
Talk and make it easier for yourself.
I'm doggone if I'll take all the blame.
How about you, Hank?
Mr. Carson, I reckon you're a square shooter. You wouldn't have a man hang if he helped you, would you?
Help the law.
Slick is going to squeal, Hank. Look at his face.
Then I'll tell what I know.
You two will lie me to the hangman. I'll show you. Oh.
That's the second time you've gone for that gun, Brownell.
By thunderation, I never suspected my boss was a big crook. Here, mister, these are your shooting irons. Now, I'm glad you had me bring 'em.
Thanks, Hector.
I guess Brownell's our man, Sheriff.
Yep. I suspicion it wasn't this stranger from the time I learned his horse was called Silver. Don't you generally wear a mask?
When I'm not disguised, Sheriff.
If there's anything the triangle can do.
There is, Carson. A young sheep man wanted to cross the range.
That's right.
The one that owned the sheep you tried to get through?
Yes.
Well, if he's a friend of yours, tell him we'll help him run his sheep.
You'll have some here in a few days.
They'll go through.
What of that flock he had in town?
They went through last night.
What?
Yes. While you concerned yourselves with me. Steady, big fella. Come on, Dan.
Right.
Well, I'll be...
Come on, Victor.
Get him up, Scout. Get him up. Hail, Silver. Away.
story you have just heard is a copyrighted feature of the Lone Ranger Incorporated.